Putting another stereo in my 78 El Camino, and you really don't have to tear up nothing big to tear up the dash or anything. Very minor, and if you did put an original radio in, you would never know it because the face would cover up just what you tore up. I'll show you exactly what it's doing. That's a jigsaw I got right there. Okay, so the only thing I really had to cut was the plastic bezel on the dash, and that was for this particular. Hey, Bootsy. He's freaking cat came by. But if you wanted to put your original radio back in, this plastic bezel is just this would cover it up exactly. You see this? It would go right the hell over it, right there. You wouldn't even know it's there. So this plastic bezel is just, it doesn't support nothing. In a way, I'm using it to partially support the radio, but this radio is ultra light compared to the old one. This was an older aftermarket Craig. This thing probably weighs about 4 or 5 times versus the new one. The new one doesn't have a DVD or a CD player in it. It's just USB auxiliary in. But the deal is, it's 20 bucks. And here's my point. They do sell aftermarket radios for like 78 to the G-bodies, the 78 to 86 Malibus, Regals, and all this garbage. El Caminos, Cutlass, whatever. But they're 160 to up to 200 bucks. And they got the knob on each side like that. But they only got, they're nothing special. They're just auxiliary in. There's not a DVD player, tape player, or CD player, nothing, right? It's just one auxiliary in. You're paying for the fact that it fits in the freaking dash stock, which is ridiculous. Now, I'm going to keep the old mounting plate, and I'm making a new mounting plate for it. I'll show you what I mean. Actually, this radio would probably sit in here just fine going through this, because this could just slide right in there like that, and it's like an interference fit. It just fits fine. I don't think I'd even need anything else because this thing is so damn lightweight. I already wired it up. It works. Got some cheap speakers in it. But this thing's 20 bucks, and it's way better than the ones that are OEM fitting. Now, if you got an OEM, it'd probably even be more than that, or restoration. I'm talking about OEM like an aftermarket that fits the original thing. So why the hell would you do that? You can keep the old the metal mounting plate. Don't mess with that. Don't break it. You can modify the old one, but I'm not breaking. I made a new one out of sheet metal. The only thing you're modifying is this, and the plate fits right over this hole for this size radio. This is a $20 radio from Walmart. It's got remote, USB, Bluetooth, auxiliary, MP3, 120 watts, which, I mean, 40 years ago, 120 watts was unheard of in a freaking stereo, Joke, man. And you can also use it for your telephone, your phone, your cell phone. So if the $160 to $200 radio you buy that fits in the dash that actually is like this, doesn't have all that. And the only thing I'm changing is this right here. And the only thing I did was I carefully cut this out with the Dremel, and I put a couple dabs of, what do you call it, JB Weld around there to hold it in there. It's practically an interference fit, but it fits in there perfect, man. And when this thing slides in, it looks like it would grew there. So I'll show you what I got in the car so far. Look who's here. You were hiding out in your back domicile, weren't you, huh? You're right, buddy. Glad you're hanging around. Stayed away from those bad raccoons, buddy. All right. I like this guy. He's a good cat. He's a good cat. Right? Yeah. You going up there? You gonna jump up there? You gonna be able to jump? Oh, you see that? He's freaking jumping pretty good, even though he's got a strained leg. Good guy. Alright, sorry for the interlude with the cat, but I like this guy, man. He's a good guy. I really like this guy. Okay, so here's the metal plate I made. Now, this is the original one that goes in there, right? So if you wanted to put the radio back in, just keep this old one. I'm probably going to tape it to the radio on the top someplace or some garbage, or have it taped underneath so, I don't lose it. I mean, I could cut this one out, but what I'm doing here is this piece goes over that, right? And I'm just going to trace out on that steel, right? Cut it out, and I'm going to fold down a flap. So this thing will have a shelf for the radio to rest in, so it won't just be supported by this plastic piece. It'll be supported by that too. And I'll paint this before I put it in. I'll probably paint it with rust-killing primer, because I'll just clean off with some starting fluid and paint it with rust-killing primer. But that's how. All I got to do is trace, put this over that, and trace around here, man. Just trace around here, and then I already got the radios all wired up. Just got to plug it in. I know it works. And that was an old speaker I had laying off of I don't know, one of those boom boxes you carry around. I had some Sim interior paint. You notice it's the same color. I just cleaned it off with starting fluid, and just freaking, so it looks like it's an interior option or some crap for a front speaker. I don't give it. It sounds okay, man. It's got 4 speakers in it. It's good enough. It sounds. And the other radio, I'm probably going to keep it around because I think it's fixable. So here's my little boo-boo out there. See him? Freaking yo-yo. I'll tell you, that guy's I like that cat. Okay, so it's a pretty tight fit. I'm going to have to drill a couple holes here to go through the steel plate in the back, because that's the screws that hold this in, the plastic piece. This is kind of tight. I don't know what's going to come out of here. Yeah. There it is. So that piece, I'm just going to paint this flat black rust-killing primer after I chemically clean it. And this part right here, you can see the part of the shelf. I'll bend it up by hand so it touches the bottom of that piece. So it's in other words, this is probably strong enough. This is definitely strong enough, because that radio is actually super lightweight. But with that piece in there, that's good enough. So we're just going to paint it flat black. And once the only thing I got to do is plug your radio in. And this piece here, I'm going to probably just leave it on the bottom of the console, inside the console, so I don't lose it. This way I know where it is. But this is the only thing that mounts the radio, and I didn't tear up in this part, like I showed you. I didn't tear this up enough where if you put the stock radio back in, it'll still be covered up, because the stock radio is actually mounted to this damn thing. So why spend $160 to $200 on a stupid radio that is nowhere near as good as a $20 radio, because it fits in the stock thing, you know what I mean? So I can use my cell phone with this thing if I want to. It's got way more capabilities. It's a very cheap radio, but compared to what they had back in 1978, that thing would have been, crap, even compared to 2000, it would have been high tech. So there you go for 20 bucks. Alright, works fine. Best damn radio I ever had in here, that's for sure. So, looks like it grew in there too. And if I want to put the other one back in, original, I can do it. And it's got like, I don't know what the hell. What is this shit? It's got modes. Yeah, auxiliary in. I don't know what that is. It's got the USB thing here. I tried that out before. That works. And it's got some kind of Bluetooth with the telephone. For 20 bucks, it's way better than the crap they're selling for $160 to $200. And it didn't really tear up my dash. It looks like it's made for it. I don't know. I'm posting this because I think this is as freaking good as shit. It was a Wally World radio, man. 20 bucks. I went and measured it. before I went there, I'll show you what, I'll write down what the brand was, but make sure you don't get something real big and fancy, because, and this is in here solid. I put some longer screws in here, trim screws I had from the Sebring convertible. This thing is in here nice and solid, you know. I want lighter works and all that garbage. So, man, I'm happy as crap, man. So, I haven't had a radio in this thing in a while. Anyway, over and out.